Yay! Yay! What's up, Dallas Cowboy Nation? It's your boy G from Jersey with the Quest for Six podcast, man. Right now, we are getting ready to break down our Dallas Cowboys offense against the Minnesota Vikings defense, man. Dallas put up 30 points against the Detroit Lions in the loss, all right? And things were roller coaster last Thursday, right? You saw Dak hit CeeDee Lamb, Brian Flores for some explosive plays downfield, but the running game couldn't get quite going. George Pickens also could not get going, right? A lot of heavy criticism for GP this entire week for the last 10 days, whether this is the GP of old. And, listen, I stepped up and I defended GP, and I still defend GP. George Pickens has been lights out all year for the Dallas Cowboys, and we criticize him after having one bad game against the Detroit Lions, right? And I also mentioned earlier this week that, Brian Flores, he's had 200-plus yard receiving games when it's just him and GP on the football field, right? And Brian Flores has established himself as a legit number 3 receiver, and what I would want, I want to see Brian Flores get the opportunities that Cavante Turpin sees, right? He's already taken over the WR3 from Jalen Tolbert. We've seen Jalen Tolbert inactive in the last few weeks, man. So that's something to keep an eye on as well, right? Kudos again to Javonte Williams for another tough, gritty performance, right? Like, Javonte Williams hasn't hit 100 yards often over the last 4 or 5 weeks, folks. But every yard that he's getting, he's definitely earned. And this is going to be another week where he faces a defense, right, led by defensive coordinator Brian Flores, who likes to send the house at quarterbacks. He likes to make it uneasy. And this is another week where Javonte Williams is going to be tasked with being an elite protector for Dak Prescott. His pass protection has to be elite this week as well, right? The Minnesota Vikings defense has names all around the field, right? Up front, they signed Jonathan Allen this offseason from the Washington Commanders, right? They also have Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Greenard, right? Tough defensive front for the Minnesota Vikings defense. At the linebacker position, they are solid, man. They're solid. I'm going to tell you why I believe they're solid, right? Blake Cashman, Eric Wilson, Andrew Van Ginkel, right? Andrew Van Ginkel can get after a quarterback, folks. He also scored a touchdown this past weekend. But this linebacker core is so solid that Ivan Pace Jr. is now relegated to backup duties. Ivan Pace Jr. has been a starter for Minnesota over the last couple of years, man, and he's been outstanding, right? Plays with a different kind of energy, attacks the football, and now he's in the backup role. Okay, their secondary. This is where Dallas can feast. Okay, Isaiah Rodgers at one corner, Byron Murphy Jr. at the other corner. Okay, their safeties: Josh Metellus and Harrison Smith. Harrison Smith, a little long on the tooth, okay, but savvy veteran. I wouldn't test him too much. And coming out this week in the news, Isaiah Rodgers has been benched for Fabian Moreau. So that is something, right, to look at. That is something to look out for, all right? On the Dallas side of things, listen, can Dak Prescott and George Pickens connect again? Can they get into a rhythm again? I think that that was a week where GP, 3 games in 11 days. His body language didn't necessarily look great, but I think that GP has a 100-yard performance this week against the Minnesota Vikings. The task for Dallas is going to be up front. Can they block the heavy blitzes coming from the Minnesota side this week? we know that Brian Flores, that's his style. He is going to attack Dak Prescott and force Dak Prescott into making quick decisions. But what we've seen is that Dak Prescott, he thrives when defensive coordinators blitz him. He is probably the best QB at handling those situations right now in the NFL. I also think that this is a week where it's a possibility that CeeDee Lamb doesn't play. Okay, concussions are nothing to play with, but I think this is a week where you see Brian Flores with another solid performance out there. All right, so Dallas, can you block everything that Brian Flores is getting ready to throw your way? We're gonna get back to you soon with our predictions for this week's matchup. Okay, go Cowboys.